Hello fellow legends, welcome back. There's one trainer that almost every Pokemon fan remembers and maybe even fears. Red. Ever since Gold and Silver and later the remakes, Red has always been the ultimate challenge, the strongest trainer, and honestly, battling him almost feels like battling a stronger version of your younger self. Today, I finally challenged him in PokeMMO. But getting to this point wasn't easy. There were a lot of hours spent grinding, testing different strategies, taking losses and slowly improving my team. After all that effort, I finally reached the point where I felt ready to take on Red. But I wasn't trying to build the perfect team specifically to counter him. I wanted to see if the team I already had, the team that carried me this far, was actually strong enough to win. So the question was simple: can my team beat Red? Let's find out. This was the team I decided to bring. Some of the abilities and natures weren't ideal, but I didn't want to optimize everything before my first attempt. I wanted this run to feel genuine and learn from my own mistakes instead of copying someone else's strategy. Now that doesn't mean I never made any changes to my team. For example, at one point I replaced Garchomp with Blastoise because Shell Smash was simply a much better option for this battle. Shell Smash boosts your attack, special attack and speed by 2 stages, while lowering your defense and special defense by 1 stage. Even with the defensive drops, the massive offensive boost made Blastoise a much more reliable setup Pokemon than trying to use Sword Stance on Garchomp. I also switched Charizard for Volcarona later on, because it gave me access to Quiver Dance, which boosts special attack, special defense and speed by 1 stage, making it another excellent setup option against Red. As the battle started, I quickly realized something. Having strong Pokemon isn't enough. Now don't get me wrong, I spent a lot of hours figuring out what strategy could actually work against Red. I tested different IDs, looked at what could handle his team, and tried to understand what made this battle so difficult. But even with that preparation, actually facing him is a completely different experience. One of the biggest things that makes Red so difficult is that every one of his Pokemon gets a free setup move when it enters the battle. His Pikachu gets a free Nasty Plot, Espeon sets up Wish, Snorlax gets Reflect, Venusaur puts up Light Screen, Charizard sets up Sunny Day and Blastoise brings in Rain Dance. That means you're not just fighting 6 strong Pokemon, you're fighting Pokemon that already have an advantage before you've even had a chance to make your move. Pikachu was easily the biggest threat. A regular Pikachu shouldn't be this scary, but Red's Pikachu has significantly boosted stats compared to a normal Pikachu. Even my faster Pokemon like Garchomp, Zapdos and Charizard couldn't outspeed it, which meant I was consistently taking hits before I could respond. Once that Nasty Plot goes up, Pikachu becomes incredibly dangerous if you don't deal with it immediately. Red punishes mistakes instantly, and if you're consistently moving second, you're already playing from behind. There were definitely a few moments where I thought, yeah, I probably shouldn't have clicked that move, but that's honestly part of the fun. You learn so much more by experiencing the battle yourself than by just following a guide, and figuring out how to adapt is what made finally beating Red feel so rewarding. So, what did I learn? After spending more time battling Red, I started to realize what the biggest keys to winning were. The best way to handle Red's team is to control the pace of the battle. Speed is everything. Being able to outspeed his Pokemon means you get to attack first and avoid constantly reacting to what Red does. Moves like Dragon Dance, Rock Polish and Sword Dance can be incredibly useful because they allow your Pokemon to boost their stats and take control of the fight. Priority moves are also extremely important. Anything that allows you to move first can make a huge difference, especially when you're up against Pokemon that are faster than you. Being able to finish off a weakened Pokemon before it gets another attack can completely change the outcome of a battle. Other moves that help you control the battle are also incredibly valuable. Moves like Stealth Rock can create extra pressure throughout the fight, especially against Pokemon like Red Charizard, where taking away a large amount of its health before it even attacks can make a huge difference. Moves like Protect can also help you scout attacks, stall for turns, or give you more opportunities to make the right decision. My Tyranitar was built a little more defensively, and that actually came in handy during the battle. Having access to moves like Knockoff was really useful because it removes your opponent's health item, making some of Red's Pokemon much easier to deal with later in the battle. It wasn't a Pokemon that carried the battle, but it definitely pulled its weight by removing items and making Red's team much easier to deal with. Items like Choice Scarf can also make a huge difference. With the right Pokemon, nature and moveset, it can be a great way to outspeed Red's team and create an advantage. Another thing I noticed is that Red's Pokemon have a lot of type coverage. You can't just rely on one strategy or assume a Pokemon will safely switch in every time. The reason I didn't focus on moves like Sword Stance during my runs is because I felt like I had to optimize almost every single turn. Against Red, one mistake can completely change the battle. If you give his team even one opportunity, they can snowball quickly and wipe out your entire team. That's what makes this battle so challenging. It's not about having strong Pokemon, it's about making the right decisions every single turn. My final thoughts. Would I build the exact same team I started with again? Probably not. Now that I know what Red's team is capable of, I would change a few moves, maybe adjust some natures and optimize the team a little more. But honestly, I'm glad I didn't do that for my first clear. Using the team I already had and figuring out how to make it work made the victory feel much more satisfying. It wasn't about having the perfect team from the start. It was about learning, adapting, and improving that the team that got me this far was strong enough to take down Red. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more PokeMMO content. I also have a Discord where we help each other out, talk about PokeMMO and just hang out as a community, so feel free to join through the link in the description. Thanks for watching and I'll see you fellow legends in the next video.